After vanquishing the wicked queen, Queen Snow White and her husband King Charming are now the rulers of the land. They have a young daughter, also named Snow White for her snow-white hair. The royal family decides to host a Christmas winter sports festival. One of the participants is Grunion, a bumbling dwarf and a friend of the young Snow White. Princess Snow White says her Christmas wish is to build a playhouse for all the children and suggests remodeling the deserted castle on a mountaintop nearby that used to belong to the original Snow White's evil witch stepmother, the Wicked Queen, who mysteriously disappeared when she was defeated. Unknown to all, the Wicked Queen had been standing frozen near her abandoned castle all that time. And right then she is freed when it happens that the large block of ice in which she was trapped melts. Returning to her castle, the revived queen finds her magic mirror still in place and learns that now are two Snow Whites, more beautiful than her. Furious, she conjures a magical ice storm that freezes the entire kingdom, barely missing Princess Snow White. The princess is told by her mother to find the 7 dwarfs immediately before her parents are transformed into ice statues. Grunion, who was also spared being frozen, leads Snow White into the forest to escape the storm. After finding their way into the warm valley, they accidentally wander upon a giant garden and 2 giants appear, Finicky and Corny, who mistake them for bugs and try to squash them. Snow White starts crying, and Grunion scolds the giants, who apologize and introduce themselves through song. Along with 5 other giants, Thinker, Hicker, Tiny, Weeper, and Brawny. Turns out they are cousins of the 7 dwarfs. After hearing their story, they take pity on Snow White and Grunion, and allow them to stay in their cottage. After the Wicked Queen discovers the young Snow White is still alive, she first turns herself into a giant rat to eat her, but is foiled when one of the giants shoos her away upon his return home. She then melts all the ice on the mountains to form a flood. But Brawny saves Snow White from drowning. The giants decide to leave Snow White at home and post Hicker as a guard. The queen turns 2 vultures into monstrous creatures to distract Hicker, then disguises herself as a giant old woman and tricks Snow White into smelling the scent of a poisoned flower that puts her to sleep, just as she had tricked Snow White's mother with the poisoned apple. However, Hicker's hiccups are loud and the other giants hear them and get back to the cottage. Seeing Snow White apparently dead, they run off to attack the Wicked Queen's castle, seeking revenge. There, she tries to stop them by casting lightning bolts, but Brawny proved to be too tough for that. Next she summons 7 demons to fight the giants. But then Hicker begins hiccuping so strongly that he causes an earthquake and the castle collapses. The magic mirror, revealed as the source of the queen's power, is shattered and she evaporates into nothingness. With the queen's final demise, the curse she has placed over the kingdom is broken, causing the land to thaw and the ice statues to revert to people. Grunion and the giants bring Snow White home to her parents in a rose-filled coffin. They kiss Snow White's cheeks and she awakens. And everyone rejoices. The Wicked Queen's castle has been destroyed. But Brawny also tells that he and the other giants built a castle for the children while Snow White was asleep.